Frank Ward's Weather Words is a production of The Reporter, Delaware County's leading newspaper. To subscribe or advertise, call 607-464-4009. This episode of Frank Ward's Weather Words is sponsored by Klinger Power Sports on West Street in Walton, your one-stop shop for outdoor recreational vehicles. Klinger services all recreational vehicles it sells. Stop in today to see how Klingers can help you enjoy the great outdoors in comfort and style.
Good day. It's December 2nd. It's Thursday. And it's time for an update of what's up and coming. And then I'm going to summarize that very interesting month of November we just finished. I'm going to call the next 5 days yo-yo days. It goes up, it goes down. Right now it's 42 degrees and it's raining. Okay, that's above normal. Normal for us now is about 39, maybe 40. In fact, what you're going to find over the next 5 days is scattered precipitation, either snow turning to rain or rain turning to snow. And that's not so bad during the daytime. But every single night is going to be below freezing. So what that really means is anything wet in the afternoon is going to be slippery and ice in the morning. That includes roads, puddles, your front steps, your driveway. So you're really going to have to be careful if you're driving late at night or you step out early in the morning to go to work, to be careful, slow down, and just take it easy, because nothing's worse than ice. You know what? You can get traction in snow. You don't in ice. Okay, now for the month we just got finished with. It was fascinating. If you notice, we had probably one of the dullest falls you've ever seen in a long, long time. There was just no vibrancy to the color. Why? Two things do that. The change in the length of daylight, which we can't control, and if there's anything wrong with that, we've got a serious problem. And the other one, a change in temperature. You know what? I've had vegetable gardens destroyed in August. I've had them certainly destroyed in September. And usually by the first week in October, that's the end of the growing season. November 2nd, we had our first killing frost. Believe it or not, the day before that, I picked raspberries off my raspberry bushes. The Weather Service contacted me that day because there had been problems with their computer. So while I was telling her what I had just finished picking, she goes, "Oh, I got better than you, because I picked cherry tomatoes. I've never picked cherry tomatoes in November." So, it's just been a very strange year. Okay, we actually had, believe it or not, an entire week of temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. And on the 19th of November, we hit 64 degrees. And you say, oh, good, this is going to be a warm month. The next day it snowed. This has just been strange. Now, on the 31st of November, we had some snowfall. Normal snowfall now is 8 inches. That brought us to exactly 8 inches. 2 inches above last year. So it's like, oh, and last year was a horrible snowy winter. Does that mean I can make a prediction? Nope. I'm going to tell you, as you keep listening to me, that all of my statistics, which now go back over 120 years, are almost useless for what's up and coming. It sort of makes it exciting and also sort of depressing. But anyway, after all that warm weather, you thought this could be a warm month. Nope. The National Weather Service said this is the warmest year we've ever had on their records. Okay, but not here. Believe it or not, July through this month we just got done is 5 months of below average temperatures. We normally see 90 degrees 4 times during the summer. This time we saw it twice, and it was in June. Believe it or not, we had mid-80s in May. We had no mid-80s or above in July, which is supposedly our warmest month. In fact, my furnace turned on the first week in July, the first time since I've lived here. So for 35 years, my furnace never turned on in July. The house was cold, okay? That doesn't happen in July. You open up all the windows and say, let all that nice cold air in. Well, guess what? You could have. It's just been all totally strange. And then people said, I never want to see a summer like this past summer. It was probably the wettest we ever had. I felt that way too. So I pulled out all my records. That's one of the things about having 120 years worth of records. You can check. It was only our 5th wettest summer. The worst was 2006 when we had our flood. That year, we had just under 65 inches of rain that year. That's the most we ever had. I never want to see that again. This was the 5th wettest summer, but believe it or not, all 5 of those summers have been the turn in this century, not before. So 100 years of my records don't have any kind of summer like the ones we've been through. And I said, well, why did everyone feel so depressed? So I went back to my daily records. What I did for summer was go from June 1st to the end of September instead of going 21st to 21st and all of that. What it turned out to be is 64 days of the summer, it rained. Of the remaining days, 37 of those were absolutely totally cloudy. And on the days that we saw the sun, it was so humid outside you thought you were living in the tropics. The ground never dried. Ask any gardener. Things rotted. Things started to come and then suddenly you look at them, you could put your fingers through them. The plants died. It just wasn't, it was going to be a good year. It wasn't. The fruit was sour. Why? You need that sunshine to make the glucose to put in the fruits to make it sweet. We didn't have it. So, has it been a real strange year? Oh yeah. Is it going to get stranger yet? Probably. One of the things I want to tell you is I taught earth science for 38 years. I've been doing the weather since I was 13. When I was downstate, I used to call it in from where I lived to Gordon Barnes of News Radio 88. He eventually became president of the head of the National Weather Service. He's retired. If he's still alive, I don't know. But I've been doing weather for a long time, so from personal experience, I can tell you what's happening. From my records, I can tell you what's happening. And I'm also going to tie in what's happening to the long-range trends on this entire planet. Because one of the things people keep making the mistake is this. They look at the weather today and say, oh, it's climate change. For climate change, you need 100 years worth of records. It's not what happens today or this entire year, or even if it's been 3 years, that's not good enough. You need 100 years of records to go and do climate change. I have those. So what I did in the year 2000 was axe off 20 years at the beginning of it and add the 20 years from 2020, or from 2000 to 2020. And boy, have things changed. The old record for rainfall for this area in New York State was 44.6 inches. We haven't gone below 50 inches in the last 15 years. More precipitation? Yes. Is there a reason for that? Absolutely. I'm not going to tell you that today. What I'm going to do is start throwing science facts in and things as we go along with all of these. And when you're all done, you'll be like my earth science students years ago. My beginning earth science students up here did a lab to show them that the earth is warming up. It's supposed to. Why? I'll get to that. But it's not just us warming it. It was going to warm up anyway. And then, know what happens after that? The next ice age. We'll deal with that too. Okay? So, the Earth's on a trend. It's a trend we never lived long enough to see. The problem is these things take hundreds of lifetimes to develop and thousands of lifetimes to disappear, believe it or not. So we'll talk about all of that. By the time you're all done, you'll be an expert. I'm not an expert. I learn about it every day as I'm sitting here in the rain doing all of this. But it's fascinating. And once you understand it, you'll understand you don't jump to conclusions. We'll talk about everything from wind towers and solar energy and everything else. Think about this past summer. If 64 days of rain and 37 days besides that of clouds and the rest of the days either partly cloudy or a few days of bright sunshine, how good are your solar panels going to work? But we'll get to all of that later on. So, I want to just tell you, be careful over the next 5 days. 42, that's not so bad on December 2nd. Tonight's going to be, mid-20s? You're going to find a couple days out of these next 5 where the daytime high is going to be 26. And you're going to stand outside, oh, it's cold. Yeah, you're right. So, just be careful. Enjoy yourself, and we will talk to you again. I'm not sure exactly which day. We'll set it all up, but I'll be there. Hope you listen. And thank you to Clingers, and if anyone else out there wants to be one of our sponsors, please call the reporter and let them know. We want to keep this going as long as we can. So have a really great day.
Shop Klinger Power Sports on West Street in Walton today.